I've been waiting. Patiently waiting. Waiting to show y'all that I'm no one-hit wonder. Waiting to show y'all it's not what I've done, but what I'm about to do. Waiting to show y'all that I'm more than a news headline. Waiting to show y'all why I'm that girl. And if you need me, I'll be at the finish line, waiting.
Later that same evening.
I've been waiting. Patiently waiting.
Cut that out!
Waiting to show y'all that I'm no one-hit wonder.
Richardson's going to Tokyo, 1087.
Waiting to show y'all it's not what I've done, but what I'm about to do.
Just here.
Waiting to show y'all that I'm more than a news headline.
Sha'Carri Richardson finishing 9th in the race. 9th in the race.
Waiting to show y'all why I'm that girl.
Talk all the shit you want. I'm the sixth fastest white in this game, but they're not done seeing me yet.
And if you need me, I'll be at the finish line, waiting.
So the Olympic
Le who? The her.
You know, if I say something, I mean it. These things happen. Yeah.
If I ever said I'm never scared, just know I mean it. If I ever said I fuck your bitch, just know I mean it. And if I ever said I'm getting money, just know I mean it. And oh Lord knows, He knows I mean it.
Yeah.
You know I mean it. You know I mean it. Just know I mean it. Just know I mean it. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
If I say that shit, then I mean it. She calls me, I screen it. I'm only fucking if it's convenient. You lie on pussy, that's weak shit. We pass pussy round, that's G shit. But you ain't fam, so what is this we shit? You cuff yours and then leash shit. Listen, I'm telling you, it's my world. I does what I wish to. If you're mad, well, too bad. Sounds like a personal issue. I walk in, they all stare like, who the fuck is this dude? Kicks game is just rude. Don't get jujitsu'd. Tunnel visions, I get ahead. Stay solid, I never fled. My haters feel like I'm better dead, but I'm quite alive, getting bread instead. With a better girl, with a better face, I'm in a better place, getting better head. I just wanna stay broke forever. Yeah, that's that shit no one ever said.
Oh my god. Y'all, I've been thinking back over the last 24 hours, and I'm trying to remember a time when there has been a single individual clowned as hard as this Sha'Carri girl has been clowned on or off social media. And I went all the way back to Bill Clinton, his last days in office, and the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal thing. And look, this was before social media. Okay, this was like what, I think this was like January 19th, 2001, I believe, right before George Bush Jr. was sworn into office. And I remember specifically, it was either Jay Leno or no, I think it was the Conan O'Brien show. Like all the late night TV shows was getting it. Like, you know, all the newspaper comics, everybody was getting Bill Clinton on his last day in office. And somebody later said, years after he left office, that he sat up all night and he watched all the people talking shit about him and making jokes, and he was laughing at himself. But that was the last time, really, that I ever remember somebody getting clowned as hard as the Sha'Carri girl. Okay, and even that was spread out, you know, like over months, okay, January 19th, 2001. That was the last time that I can remember. Okay, but they was getting his ass for months since then. But that was the last time I've ever heard or seen anybody getting clowned and trolled as hard as Sha'Carri Richardson. And even Bill Clinton, I don't even think they got his ass as good as they getting her. And there's been a lot of crazy shit that's happened over the course of the last 20 years, both online and off. I mean, you go all the way back to Crystalline Kerosene and the Veganator debacle 5 years ago. I have never seen nobody. I mean, everybody's going in on this chick, okay? White people, black women, Jamaicans, like everybody. I even saw this Japanese anime. I don't know who it was made by, but they had Sha'Carri in a little cartoon character, and she was running off at the mouth and crying at the same time while the other girls was walking behind her, and they were much taller than her in the cartoon and looking and laughing. Everybody, they just ain't having no mercy on this broad. And look, the video that you saw in the intro, that was just one of dozens of videos that I saw. That's not even my creation. I didn't do that, y'all. That's actually my point. Of all the L's that black women take, okay, constantly, it didn't need, like, you know that I have no problem. I have no problem airing these goofy ass females out. I have no problem with that. It's something that I've been doing since 2014. Okay, I have no problem with that. But in this situation, there's no point in me adding to. It's no point in me adding to and piling on, because everybody is getting this chick. Okay, like I said, that video that I just showed, that's not even my creation. That's some other black dude. I think he's Jamaican. Ain't nobody having mercy on this chick, bro. She is getting blowed the fuck out. But I wanted to use this video as a follow-up to the premiere video stream that I showed you guys yesterday. Because I was very politically correct in that video, as you know, because it was premiered on YouTube. As I told you guys, I'm temporarily back on YouTube until I can get this damn batch done. I'm down to the last 3 videos, so hopefully I can get that rolled out before the end of this month, or at least before the end of the first week of September. But I was very politically correct in that video, and I titled it the way I wanted to title it, but I didn't really touch on everything that I wanted to touch on. Okay, the title of the video was why Texas thought elite Sha'Carri Richardson represents a failed black matriarch after loss. And I wanted to, I didn't really get to that until the end. I wanted to focus more on not only just Sha'Carri Richardson, because, you know, that's what's trending, that's what's viral, everybody's getting her. You know, she finished 9th place. You know, she made a fool out of herself after, you know, getting obliterated in the race. And everybody's pointing to Sha'Carri, you know, and her failures. And I understand that it's warranted. But at the same time, you know, and this was what I really wanted to focus on yesterday. But I just kind of got caught up in the moment. I did touch on it, but I didn't touch on it enough. Okay, let's put all the comedy aside for a second. It is funny, aside from all the all the comedy and everything, and the trolling following, the embarrassment of Sha'Carri Richardson, both before, during, and after this race in Oregon. I'm kind of looking at this from two perspectives. Okay, from one perspective, Sha'Carri Richardson kind of reminds me, her story, which is really sad. It reminds me of the sinking of the Titanic. Okay, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the sinking of the Titanic in 1912, but before the sinking, the Titanic, it was built and launched from Southampton, Ireland, I believe, and it was on its maiden voyage, which means it was on its first voyage. The Titanic had never made an intercontinental trip. This was its first time ever sailing with passengers. They had done some practice trips, but it was a fresh vessel, and it had all of this press behind it. The media back then, even though they didn't have TV and internet, the newspapers were and billboards were hyping up Titanic as not only this new luxury liner, but this man-made marvel that was unsinkable. It was untouchable, and you actually heard people believe in this hype. They were talking about how this ship was so unsinkable it didn't need enough lifeboats to cover all of the passengers and crew that was on the motherfucker. And people were actually stupid enough to believe this. Okay, and all the hype. That's the reason why the legend of the Titanic. That's why the Titanic is so legendary. It wasn't because of the Titanic. At the end of the day, it was just another luxury cruise liner, for back then's standards, at least, and with back then's technology. Luxury cruise ships now are many times bigger than the Titanic. But the legend of the Titanic, like the legend of Sha'Carri Richardson, it was a false prophet. It was all this hyping up something that simply could not deliver. And all this talking about God couldn't sink the ship and yada, yada, yada. And all it took was the side of an iceberg to punch holes in the bottom of the ship and sink it in less than 4 hours, taking with it 3/4, 2/3 of the people that was on the motherfucker. Okay, including a lot of the who's who back then of wealthy people. Okay, and that's kind of one perspective of looking at Sha'Carri Richardson's story that as we now know, is kind of the Titanic effect with her now. She's more hype than reality. And when it came time to deliver, the young, fresh vessel got sunk on her first voyage. Because I believe, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that this was Sha'Carri's first time, this Prefontaine Classic. We know it was post-Olympic because she missed the Olympics, but I believe this was her first professional race. I know she had done some collegiate NCAA tournament races, but I believe this was her first race up against top level international competition, including the Jamaican girls. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because she was bragging about how she's the 6th fastest and on all of that. But I think all the other times she was only running against American girls. Maybe I'm wrong. I think she was only in collegiate tournaments. I don't know. Maybe I'm incorrect. But she clearly was not facing top level competition in her sport. And we saw the clear results of that. But this fresh vessel got sunk on her first try, even with all this hype after missing the Olympics. And that's why it's kind of the Titanic effect. But on the other hand, I kind of look at this from a larger, a bigger picture that I don't think, unfortunately, a lot of black people look at it as, like looking at this on a bigger note, how she is representative of a group of people that are comfortable with failure and have somehow over the last couple of generations, in their brains, they have transformed failure and, defeat and lackluster performance into what these Negroes call black excellence. Somehow in niggas' mind, losing is winning. You even heard a female in the second post interview that Sha'Carri did saying, yeah, L is a win, a L is a win. What kind of idiotic crap is that? But this is how Negroes think. And it's because we have such a delusion of grandeur that has been instilled into us since, the times of slavery and well after that, that we will rush to save face. And this is particularly true with black females. They will rush to save face and continue to put on fakeisms, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. From the weave they wear to the always talking about they're unbothered and they're winning when, emotionally and mentally they're train wrecks. We as a collective group of people will rush to defend a image and a profile of ourselves. We'll rush to defend our egos and our prides before we rush to go back to the drawing board, regroup, figure out what went wrong, and strive hard to invest time, money, and effort into making sure that it never happens again. And the next time, we're ready for the competition. We're ready and we're up for the challenge. This is black people. And listen, heed what I am about to say. Because in this day and age, what we're currently looking at before our very eyes, this is a really bad time to be okay with being in last place, especially on a world stage. Let's put all the parodies and all the comments aside for a second, okay? Let's forget about Sha'Carri's failure for a second. Her second failure in just a couple of months. Let's put all that aside. And let's look at the bigger picture here as black people, okay? While we're looking at this young girl's face, and this was the point of my title and the point of my video yesterday. Sha'Carri doesn't just represent herself. She represents a group of people and a generation of a group of people that are literally dead last in everything that counts on this planet. Let me say it again for those in the back. Sha'Carri Richardson and her epic failure and her refusal to take accountability and responsibility for her epic failure and her continued fronting and sad attempts to try and save face in a situation that was obviously a defeat, and her lack of preparedness for not only this event but for herself to develop herself as a professional athlete is reflective of what we see constantly in Black America as a whole, especially with these Black American females, but with a lot of these black males, the ones that we call Pookies and Ray Rays as well. Okay, this is across the board. Okay, socioeconomically, we're dead last. Okay, education-wise, these females like to prop themselves up as the most educated, which is obviously a farce. Okay, that's already been dismantled. That myth has already been dismantled a long time ago. And obviously these females don't act educated. The way they act and talk on social media and their relationship choices and a lot of their other life choices, okay, But we're dead last in education. We're dead last in socioeconomics. We're dead last in even controlling the commerce and local economics of our own communities. Okay? Sha'Carri Richardson was hyped up originally and ironically to represent and symbolize a group of women in this world who claim that they're winning, who claim that they're unbothered, who claim that they're growing, who claim that they're independent. And yet, ironically, just like the very females that she was being hyped up by the liberal media and apparently certain corporations, including Nike, and a certain segment of black people to represent, when it came down to the time to put the fronting and the trash talking and the chest puffing and the peacock feathering aside and show the world what she had as a strong, outspoken, educated, independent black woman, she figuratively fell flat on her fucking face, finished dead last, and got smoked by the competition. And yet, even in this embarrassing moment, was still dabbling in the delusions that somehow, even though she's made a complete fool out of herself and her camp and those that she represents, somehow in her demented, backwards mind, she's winning. But see, as I said just a moment ago, this is more than just about Sha'Carri Richardson. This is how all black females in that genre of black American females think. Okay, there are other messed up, genres. African. A lot of these everybody's talking about these Jamaican chicks clowning her, but I mean, you have two different sides of Jamaica, just like you have two different sides of other areas on the Caribbean chain, like Bermuda and the Bahamas too. Okay, you have the family-oriented Caribbean women, and then you have the Rihanna island rat types, as I say. Okay, so a lot of these females that are clowning Sha'Carri are really not much different than her. Okay, but not with the prosthetics and all the fake up and weave that they wear. So but focusing on the BAW, that genre of black American female. Okay, at some point, black women and black people, including these black males, okay, including all these Kevin Samuels worshipers. Yeah, I'm gonna get y'all too. I'm talking about you niggas too. All these passport for pussy ass niggas thinking they gonna go overseas and solicit prostitution from some other group of female. And I've even heard a couple of these idiots talking about having a biracial family and converting that into building a new black race. At some point, all of you niggas are going to have to learn and understand that you're going to have to cut the bullshit. Like Sha'Carri Richardson, if she wants her career to continue, if she wants whatever few endorsements she has left and whatever little chance she has left of redeeming herself, and I don't really think she has the discipline or ability to be able to do that, because she was born in an environment even before she got hyped up where, like most black females, she was lied to and told that she was a queen simply for being a black weave-wearing female and having a vagina with long fake nails. That's the environment that she was raised into. But at some point, all black people, especially those in the so-called BAW, okay, the black diaspora, are going to have to wake up and cut the bullshit. Because I'm here to tell you guys, it's all funny what's going on, You know, like I said, I'm not going to really pile onto it because there's no need to. The girl, she's getting hit hard. But on a more serious note, okay, while we're looking at, you know, the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan and, you know, looking at, you know, Sha'Carri make a complete idiot out of herself and, you know, the black American female as a whole that she represents and was being hyped up as. I mean, we are headed into some very strange, frightening times, okay? While we're looking at, you know, this sports and, you know, what's going on overseas in Afghanistan or wherever else, behind our backs, okay, at a local level for right now, there are people in government and other places and the powers that be, including these pharmaceutical companies, the mayor's office of New York, that are creating testing grounds, New York City, one of them, to see if they can program people to getting used to having foreign substances injected into their bodies without questioning what these substances are and without having the legal right to sue these pharmaceutical companies if somehow they get fucked up as a result of having this mystery shit that people call a vaccine to COVID-19 injected into them, okay? If they are able to normalize getting people to not only surrender their constitutional rights, but their human rights to decide what goes into their bodies, please understand the possibilities are endless. And the point of me bringing this up is that a lot of people don't believe stuff like, you know, Nazism and the Holocaust, history can repeat itself, okay? But understand that black people as a collective, we are in dead last place. And you've heard me say in recent time that if, you know, white people or at least white supremacy wanted to return us to a state of slavery or do God knows what to us, okay, because we are so disorganized, okay, because we are in dead last place like Sha'Carri Richardson was in her race, okay, there's really not much we could actually do to stop them in their agendas, okay? And the more the powers that be get away with, especially, you know, under the guise of doing what's best for the public with this, you know, COVID-19 propaganda that's going on, the bolder they're going to get. And the people that are going to get hit the worst are black people, okay? You know, as we speak, as we watch events unfold, you know, as we look at things that entertain us, a new world order is unfolding and being trying to be established right in front of us before our very eyes, okay? For those of you Bible thumpers, you might know it as the mark of the beast, okay? Black people don't understand now, but I'm afraid that before the end of my life, and I hope it's closer to the end than, you know, the beginning or the prime of my life, black people are going to have to understand that fronting and putting on a show and appearing as something that you're not is simply not going to cut it, okay? All this running your damn mouth, it's not going to work for you on the world stage or for defending yourself and your family and your territory any more than it works for you at a traffic stop when the police pull you over, okay? This world and our society that has long ago abandoned, you know, moral compass and is now adopting immoral and abnormal absurdities is literally taking a turn for the worse, okay? And if black people don't get themselves together, and unfortunately I don't see that happening in my lifetime, okay, I'm afraid to say that we're going to live to see a time period, and I can't say what's going to be in that time period, but we're going to live to see a time period where we're going to do a lot more than just be embarrassed on the world stage. Because right now, we are, as a collective, not speaking about our individual selves, but we are as a collective an embarrassment, okay? Unfortunately, Sha'Carri basically did exactly what was expected of her, which was to be a complete embarrassment to the black race, because she represents a segment of people who don't really take care of themselves, okay? They are the exact opposite of the things that they claim to be, which are strong, independent, in growth, unbothered, winning. She's the exact opposite of that. And she accurately, that's what's so sad. From, the moment that she got suspended from the games for, smoking marijuana. And then after that, she had a chance to run on the relay team, and the U.S. Olympic team was saying, you know what, we don't even want you on the relay team. Because they was, the IOC didn't completely ban her from the Olympics, they just banned her from the 100 meters. They said, well, you can, if the U.S. team decides that you can join the relay team, you can join the relay team. They wouldn't even let her run on the relay team. That was a decision made by the U.S. Olympic Committee, okay? So we see a constant pattern of failure. But, okay, this is bigger than just with Sha'Carri Richardson, because her failure is indicative of an entire group of people who have been failing from the moment they got off those slave ships 400 years ago. You've heard me say in the past that black people have goldfish in a jar mentality. And what I mean by that is that we often take below the median or mediocre and accept it as top notch. This is why it's so easy for the likes of a Cynthia G or a Crystalline Carrison, or on the other side, a Kevin Samuels or a Tommy Sotomayor or a Creflo Dollar or a Brother Polite or any one of a number of these frauds to spit a couple of catchy lines and phrases and impress us. Because we are a group of people that would rather front, through the cars that we own and the clothes that we wear and the fake up that, these women put on and the weaves. We would rather fake a lifestyle than actually living it. And because the liberals and these feminists have a vested interest in preventing the rise of true black excellence, which starts with education and then black entrepreneurship, okay, they are more than happy and all too self-obliged to help us front lifestyles and fake realities that, as a collective and even on an individual scale, a lot of us are really not living. Okay? I mean, from that stupid ass movie Black Panther to the legend of Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King, all the way up to Deontay Wilder and Sha'Carri Richardson. These are phantom myths and fake heroes that have been put in position by the powers that be to keep us comfortable in our discomfort. Equivalent to Jim Jones telling the mothers of all those babies that they won't feel anything while they digest cyanide poisoning through purple Kool-Aid, even though they could obviously hear the babies crying and screaming while they were forcefully given the poison. And ironically, most of the people who died at Jonestown were single black mothers with black children. I could go in all day on this video, but I just wanted it to be a little PSR, public service reminder, even though I know most people, even if this video was to go viral, most people, most Negroes are not going to heed it. They're going to continue doing what they're doing because most people, they like to be in a comfort zone Even if they know that there's a train wreck or the bridge is out ahead, that's how most people are. They're only going to react when it's too late. But anyway, looking at Sha'Carri Richardson, and her face and what she represents and what she represented from a larger logical intellectual perspective, okay? Maybe we need to stop laughing, and maybe we need to, as a collective of people, self-reflect, knowing that, everything about her, from the ratchetry to the lack of accountability, the lack of responsibility, the lack of preparedness, the arrogance, the inability to back up the trash talk, the horrible performance, while all the while trying to draw attention to herself by looking flashy with the bright weaves and the long fake nails, is not only representative of a group of women, but a group of people who have a defeated mindset and are okay with being dead last because the rest of the world tells us that we don't have to worry about striving to be first place. And I know a lot of y'all haven't noticed, but if you really look at what's happening in this world slowly but surely, this is a really bad fucking time to be dead last. I mean, this is a really bad time to be in last place. Thanks so much for listening, and talk to you later, guys.
On my side, it's authentic. You try to stunt, but it's all rented. But sure dope, you got a bad chick, yeah, cool, bro, we all get it. She wears a ring, came through without it. You really think she stays true? I doubt it. Cause I'm fucking your girlfriend, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm never scared.